Released in August of 1999, this eMachine's eOne came equipped with a 433 MHz Celeron processor, 64 MB of RAM, and an ATI Rage XL graphics card with 8 MB of VRAM. It was priced competitively with other novelty systems of its time, the subsidized price of $299 making it an especially attractive option if you're in the market for a PC in late 1999. But that's enough touching grass for one day. Starting around front, we have a floppy drive, a 24x CD-ROM, media keys, as well as a single USB 1.0 port, a headphone jack, and a microphone jack. On the right side, we have AV inputs, as well as, underneath this door, a 56K modem, Ethernet, 2 card bus slots, a serial connector, 2 PST ports for the keyboard mouse, a USB port, and the speaker out. Around back, you'll find the power cord, the parallel port, and the game port. The CD-ROM always has power, allowing you to play audio CDs even when the system is off. It will also play through connected speakers. And about that RCA input on the side, it's not picky. You can put whatever you want through it. Doesn't care if you're digitizing the home movies of Timmy's birthday party, or if you're preserving your VHS collection. Anything will go through with no problem. But it doesn't work with your light gun. Sorry, no Duck Hunt for you. It has a standard VGA connector on the inside, as well as a 20-pin ATX power connector, meaning adapting the front panel connectors is going to likely be your biggest challenge in modding a modern system into this case. But that's a little more than I'm looking to do today, so let's just see how it games as is. Started out aiming a little high. Serious Sam the first encounter was a bit too much for this system. In spite of the GPU not being compatible, Need for Speed runs far better on this system. In fact, the only problem I found was that the headlights don't seem to work. I initially thought Warcraft 3 would run great on this system. Unfortunately, in spite of having enough VRAM, the Rage XL only supports up to DirectX 6. In spite of requiring DirectX 7, FIFA 2002 runs far better on this system. The biggest hits to performance seem to come whenever there's a transition between screens that it does a special effect. And in case you're curious, I recorded this whole match. It'll be available at the link in the description.
Can he score? Puts it away!
And of course we need to look at the Game of the Year from 1998. Half-Life was a funny thing on this system, and a good example of why just meeting the requirements doesn't mean it'll run a game well. I got my best results with software rendering, and even at that, when things got active, there were definitely noticeable frame drops. Ever the classic at LAN parties viewer, Unreal Tournament runs well on this system in spite of the GPU not being cooperative again. It really does not show well in this footage, but the CRT is dark, and the in-game settings have no effect on it. A little more in line with the target demographic here, Zuma runs well. The Joule 2 also runs well, though I wouldn't go too much newer even in the PopCap library, since we're pushing this 433 Celeron to its limits. Looking at a few older titles, Who Shot Johnny Rock? Pretty trivial for this system, but it's nice that it works, complete with sound.
A double cross. I don't know who shot him. Must have that grease monkey. Pots.
Old FMVs look good on this screen, the innate CRT haziness covering for the pixelation and compression artifacts quite well in most cases. Space Ace also looks good on this CRT. It's still a pretty trivial game for this system to run, but it runs it well. Then we come to the unfortunate fact that this sound card just does not like most DOS games. Mega Race loses a lot of its charm when played in silence. And unfortunately, a lot of these games lack subtitles. Day of the Tentacle also gets the silent treatment, not even the PC speaker sound working for this one. And I tried Dungeon Siege fishing for another win, only to find that the DirectX problem came up again. So I believe the question at this point is, do you want one of these? And I would say, sure, it'll be a little bit of work to get some of the older games running, and some newer stuff will just not be possible, until it comes to the simple scarcity of these. Since so few were produced, replacement parts are difficult to find, and the price for a full system being around $1,000 just simply makes it not worth it. And replacement parts are pretty much impossible to find. My floppy drive doesn't work, and my CD-ROM seems to be starting to have problems as well, and I have no hope of replacing them. I'd say, if you find one in the wild for under $100, it might be a fun toy for a little bit, if it works. But if it comes to paying more than that, you'd be far better off looking at a different system from this era. If you find one with a good CRT and power supply, it could be a fun project to make it into a modern sleeper, especially with how modern integrated graphics are going. And I think that about wraps it up. If you think I missed any essential games, leave them down in the comments below, and maybe I'll be able to make a short in the future testing some of them out. Make sure you hit that subscribe button so you know when I upload my next video. Thanks for watching, and have a good one.